I just came back from a local stamp show near where I live, and not a very big show, and a few dealers there. Some of the dealers bring hundreds, if not thousands, of items, and I picked up some really neat, which I think is historical stuff here. A lot of stuff was 25 cents, 50 cents, a dollar. I just shop in the low end parts of the bins because some of these guys, have things that are $5 and $6, and you're like, that's practically the same thing that's in the junk bin. So let's just get into what I found. For 50 cents, I got this USS Constellation brochure here, just kind of neat. And there were two photographs of the ship I just aforementioned ship in there. That was pretty neat. That was 50 cents. I will tell you different prices otherwise here. This looked like an autograph at first. It says, "Many thanks, Max Conrad." Some old guy on an airplane. I think that's pre-printed on the postcard there, but it's a huge 5x7 or larger postcard. Max Conrad. See the St. Louis, let's see. Trying to figure out what this person did here. I'm not really sure. But it's a canceled Pole Station Antarctica, U.S. Navy. That's kind of neat. There's another cancel there, so that's really cool. I'll have to do some research on that. Then I got, let's see, we don't need to see that. I just got some Californian, Washington canceled stuff here. Here's a oceanographic surveying, NOAA ship surveyor with a signature right there. John Watkins Jr., so that's kind of neat. That was 50 cents for that one. Postcard of the Capitol in California. Now this is a really amazing postcard here. This is Pennsylvania Avenue from State Department, Washington, D.C. And there's the White House right there and some neat factory buildings and stuff in the background. That's really awesome. That's very, very old. And this dates to probably the early 1900s. This was super cheap. This was 50 cents for that one. Here's the Fairmont Hotel in San Francisco, California. Here's one from Washington, California. Let's see, here's the open house of the United States Post Office of Pine Valley, California, commemorating the opening of the post office in 1991. That's really neat. And again, that was 50 cents for that one. This one is very, very old. San Francisco, California. And it's a wholesale saddlery house. We operate our own horse collar factory. That's very neat. Very old. I wouldn't be surprised if that's worth at least 10 bucks. That was 50 cents. Let's see. Mrs. Nellie Booth, no relation to John Wilkes, I don't believe. And some sort of program good for one pass of 21st of 1936 for some movie. To see these movies here. Let's see. All kinds of movies here. Call of the Wild, G-Men, Nitwits, The Three Musketeers, Follies Bergère, The Last Roundup, all kinds of stuff. So that's kind of neat. It's falling apart. Oh, Call of the Wild, and then it says, let's see, Clark Gable with Loretta Young, better than the book, if that is possible. Also, Mickey Mouse. Bonus cartoon. This one's from Sonoma, California, homemade Our American Heritage for Medical Sciences envelope. And then these are just Washington postcards here mostly. I'll pull out anything that's interesting here, but there's a Washington State postcard. Those were a quarter piece. Let's see, that's not intended. Here's a nice Scottish American War Memorial postcard. That was a quarter. Let's see, what else do we have here? Lots more Washington postcard. Here's World's Largest Frying Pan, Long Beach, Washington. Let's see, what else do we have here? Interstate 90. Let's see, the United States Post Office in Palmetto, Florida. Here's a letter I found in the 50-cent box, dated 1911. I will read that later, from William M. Clevenger, Counselor at Law. So, some attorney's letter. These are unperforated postcards, which is kind of unusual. I guess this is a sheet of postcards before they were cut for printing. Very interesting. Find that for 50 cents. It's like kind of an uncut baseball card sheet, but I'll have to look up and see what those might even be worth. These are probably from the early 1900s, 1920s or so. I'm not really sure on the date of those. What else did I get? Lots of other stuff here. I found this American Philatelic Sales Division book here with some really old stamps inside there. That was a 50 cents. He didn't seem to care. And There's a nice military payment, special delivery, I think. Well, it's a special delivery stamp. I don't know if it was a military payment stamp. Here's a documentary stamp that was worth $1 at one time. Can't mail that one out. It's more special delivery stamps. There's a postage due for 5 cents. Some neat uncanceled stamps that were in there. There's a few other odd things in there, so I figured that was worth 50 cents. I should have a couple more things here if I can find them. This was in the 50-cent box. It's Erin go Bragh. Let's see, a silk flag there. I don't know if we can see it better that way. This is probably turn of the century easily. It could be 1800s flag. Had a little sticker on there that says $7.50. So I saved $7, I guess. I think that is most of it. Like I said, I thought I had some other stuff here. But if I find it later, I will show you. Like I said, there was the neat postcards. There was the one autograph there, the old envelopes, and mostly they were, like I said, Washington postcards. I got a few other things from my Oregon collection. Buxton, Oregon post office does not exist. There's Washington, Dayton, Washington. There's Norway, Oregon post office, which I needed. And here's Snohomish, Washington postcard. And then there's just a Boston store, Chicago. So really cool stuff. I spent, I think, all of $16. It was free to get in. If you find any stamp shows near you, you might find people selling stamps at below face value or at face value of really weird stamps that are still usable today. You find lots of 25-cent postcards and all kinds of really neat history. And a lot of times, these stamp collectors only are interested in stamp value and not historical value. You find all kinds of neat historical things with lots and lots of autographs on envelopes. So a really cool place to get some interesting and unusual stuff you will never find anywhere else. So I hope you enjoyed that, and thank you for watching.